Krishna. Let us lovingly welcome our Sachi Sutta. Prabhu, the first time I met Sachi Sutta was when the bird was younger. It was in Mayapur, and I took part in the Mayapur Parikrama. And I remember it was dry, hot, and at that time Kirtan was not yet so established in our movement. So as a Kirtan leader, you had to really work very hard to induce devotees to sing Kirtan. And so my voice was totally gone, but then I heard next to me a young, strong, beautiful, angelic voice, as much as a male person can be angelic, you know. And I looked, and there was Sachi Sutta, and we never actually spoke much at that time. We just sang much. Do you remember? We didn't say, Haribol, how are you? Not much. We just were meeting together, and I would give you the microphone, and so this is Sachi Sutta. Hare Krishna. Yes, I want to welcome all of you for this second class, which will be a little foundational, and I think very, very, very interesting. So let us start. Namo, please join me. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Askatyare Satarine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda Namaste Girirajaya Shri Gomananamine Ashisha Klesha Ashaya Paramanandadaine. Hare Krishna. The second chapter of Bhaktivinoda Thakur's Bhajan Rahasya is very, very interesting for practicing sadhakas. It's the Dvitiya Yama sadhana, where it's discussed how to remove anarthas through the association with devotees. I think as we move on in our spiritual life, we understand there are obstacles on our path, and this part discusses how to overcome all these obstacles. Thank you so much. On our path through devotional practice, like this. Okay, in the association of devotees, it starts out with the verse Nam Namakari Bahuda Niya Sarva Shaktis. Oh my Lord, you have invested all your personal potencies in your numerous holy names. These names have power, my dear devotees. They can help you to cross over Himalaya, big like Anatas, because Krishna has invested the Shaktis. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur describes a few of these holy names, which I wish you to call out with devotion. Yashodanandana, Gokula Ranjana, Nandatanaya, Rasakupa, Putanagatana, Trinavatahana. I go very fast now. Gopal, Murali Vadana, Rakala, Ram Krishna Hari, Madhava Narahari, Govindavana, Madhusudana, Yadavendra, Vanamali. Yes, he who wears a garland made from forest flowers. And the devotee, knowing well that here in these names is all the Shakti, he cries because he sees, although you have invested all these Shaktis, I seem to not have any attraction for these holy names. So in a very helpless condition, he begins to chant a shloka in which one requests that more attraction is given to us. It is this shloka which devotees chant who want to increase their taste. Do you have this desire also? Yes. You have. Good. I see some of you very intelligently covering their heads. The sun will travel, but when it's on you, it means the eye of God is on you. Sometimes it's good to cover ourselves because he can look very strongly at us. So here is the prayer. Oh holy name, you have so many different forms. You are Agadamana, that means the one who killed or defeated Agadamana, the demon representing sin. Yashodanandana, say. Yashodanandana. Nandasuno. Kamalanayana. Gopichandra. Vrindavanendra. And especially one name, the one who's merciful to the fallen, Pranata Karuna. May my love for you in all these forms grow forever and not stop increasing. Would you like to chant with me this verse? Agada. We go to see. Agadamana Yashodanandano Nandasuno Kamalanayana Gopichandra Vrindavanen Pranata Karuna Krishna Ityaneka Svarupe Eka Svarupe Tvai Mamarati Uchaya Bharatam Namadeya Bharatam Nemane. May my love for you in all these forms increase forever, more and more. Now, the poet Rumi said something which I would like to introduce this with. He said, Don't look for love. What? No, don't look for love. Seriously? No, don't look for love. But look for all those walls and obstacles that you have built yourself against love. This is called, in Bhaktivinoda Thakur's language, the indirect process. And he talks about, in the second chapter, about the indirect process, that is how to combat and defeat our obstacles, our walls that we have built ourselves. He identifies Hridaya Sobalyam, that is weakness of the heart. I know what I should do, but I just can't bring myself out in the morning. I know the alarm clock has rung at the proper time, but I just took my hammer and killed my alarm clock. Thirst for the impermanent. Yes, I know these various entertainments which I still choose are impermanent, but there's thirst. This is another offenses which we do, and Tattva Vibrahma, just illusions about what is the true, what's the truth, and what's the process to reach it. Yes. So you must make an effort to avoid these unproductive desires. And the method given to us to make an effort is given by Rupa Goswami. And then Bhaktivinoda Thakur describes this. It is basically controlling the urge to speak. The mind demands. And when the genitals are itching, controlling this by saying, my dear Lord, I have fallen into this world. Please protect me against these terrible enemies to my spiritual progress. And trying your best and praying, because some of these things, my dear devotees, perhaps most of them can't be overcome by your own strength. Krishna will decide when it's the right time that you are finally successful. But he will decide this only if he sees you making an effort for this. I have taught many children how to walk. Mothers, if you want to know secrets, I know them, perhaps not all, but some of them. And I do remember my method was, I would tell them, okay, let's walk together. I would put them, their left foot on my left foot, their right foot on my right foot. I would take their little hands and I said, okay, left, and I would move my foot. It's very good, very impressive. Now right, I would move, and they would not know, but they would see the feet are moving under them. And finally they would get into the movement and they could walk. This, however, only worked when they were willing and ready to stretch their arms. My dear devotees, the association with devotees, which Bhaktivinoda Thakur describes in the second chapter, works in the same way. They can teach you what you need to know, but they need to know that you are willing to walk and move along. So then there is a long list, what are our problems, and so on. Adyahara prayasascha. Let's chant this verse. Adyahara prayasascha prajalpo niyamagra Yana sangasalolyam cha shatmya bhakti vinashyate. And then it's described, because association with devotees will teach us how to walk. But how do we associate with devotees? We need to learn the 6 languages of love with the devotees. We need to give gifts when we see them. We need to accept their gifts in return. We need to sit down with at least 1 or 2 devotees and tell them what's on my mind. We may not do this with everyone, because sometimes we have to be a little careful by experience. And then we reveal our mind, and we accept advices, no? And finally, we say, I brought this prasadam for you. Please accept prasadam, and accepting prasadam. In these 6 languages of love is a whole plethora, means many, many, many loving exchanges. And if you have devotees with whom you have a cultivated relationship, my dear devotees, that's 50% of the path. 50% of the path. When you are on your own because you can't trust anyone, you have a trust issue, maybe you were traumatized in your past, it's so much more difficult. So this is the indirect path, dealing with the obstacles. There are many obstacles which are mentioned. And then comes the direct path. And I am most interested to teach the direct path now. In the direct process, my dear devotees, you are aware that there are problems which you carry in your karma rucksack. Rucksack is, by the way, a German word. You want to say it properly, you would say Rucksack. Yes, you are aware, but you are aware you need Krishna's help. And therefore you directly cultivate devotion. You go to the Bhagavatam to hear the Bhagavatam, and you go to the holy places, you go and worship the deities, and you have, of course, your sadhu sangha, but most important, you take shelter in chanting the holy name. Now, if you want to do the direct process of devotional service, you must cultivate knowledge who is Krishna. Because Krishna is the one whom you're calling upon this path to help you. You must also know who you are. And these are the direct processes of devotional service. As you can see, I'm going very fast because today I will say something which you will not forget for the rest of your life. I want to go through it. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur ends more or less this chapter by saying you must practice the indirect method and the direct method. First of all, he says, Prabhate Gavira Ratra Madhyane Sandaya Anata Charya Lau Namera Ashraya. E rupa kirtana smaran ye kare Krishna kripahaya Krishna kripahaya shikra anayasatare. Erase all wickedness and bad things from your heart. Indirect method. Weed your heart. Pull out the weeds. And then direct method. Take shelter of the holy name in the morning, through the day, and into the deep night. And then he says what we will teach this evening, today. One who chants the holy name and simultaneously at the same time, side by side, remembers Krishna's pastimes, quickly and easily crosses over the material nature by the mercy of Krishna. Everyone, listen up, take shelter of Krishna's Nam in the association of devotees with faith. By so doing, all your anarthas will disappear and you will attain steadfastness in chanting. What is the last line, the last verse I've quoted when I said, listen? Is it the indirect or the direct process? Direct process. In Bhakti, we have a lot of faith in the direct process. Now, what he constantly says is, you must remember Krishna and his pastimes. And with this, I come to the unopened door in ISKCON. An unopened door is there in a house, but because we have not opened it, we don't really know what is on the other side. The unopened door for most of us in ISKCON is the practice of remembering or meditating on Krishna and his pastimes. Before I talk about this, I must unlearn something. Sometimes we have heard in Kali Yuga, it does not matter what you think. The offenses and the mistakes in the mind are not put on your karmic account. Only what you do in action with your active senses is creating karmic results. Have you heard this?
Yes.
Now, does this mean we can think and should think anything which we want? Why not? It doesn't count what you think.
That's just action.
My dear devotees, thoughts which we have create choices in our lives. Would you agree?
Yes.
I have, for instance, thought, yesterday I skipped the lunch, but today I thought it's not such a good idea to skip the lunch, and I told the room next to me, please prepare some. I've made a choice. I've thought yesterday the whole day about eating and being hungry. I have now decided I will eat lunch. I made a choice. Now the choices which you make, my dear devotees, describe your future. I'm now an old man. I made a choice when I was young. I will dedicate this one lifetime to the service of Prabhupada. That choice, done more than 50 years ago, has described this situation. I am the result of that choice. And I am in the process of making important choices. I have, for instance, chosen to regularly listen to the Bhagavatam. And I know this will shape my future. I have made the choice to take the chanting very sincere. I will try my best in every time when I chant one of the many holy names of the Lord. And I know there are other choices. I've made, for instance, a choice to come twice in a year to Vrindavan. And I know it will grow into something beautiful, more attachment to Radha, more attachment to Krishna. But before I could make a choice, the thoughts were there. Now there is an interesting study done by the Harvard University. Have you heard about Harvard? And some think it's the topmost branch of academic study. They have found out that on an average, our minds are lost in thought 47% of the time. 47% of the thoughts, 40% of the time, we think about inconsequential thoughts, thoughts that are not important for our future. Oh, he is better than me. Oh, how do I get a fan following? That's for those of us who are preachers. Perhaps the thoughts are, is my dress properly? Mataji are thinking, my sari does not fit the occasion. Scandal. And the men think, well, maybe I should shave off, or you know, or how can I, you know, so many things. Why does no one like me? The men think often. I'm very lovable, you know, and so on. These are inconsequential thoughts. Would you laugh, but do you agree with me? You agree with me. Good. This means, my dear devotees, half of our life we are lost in unimportant thoughts. Half, almost. I mean, 47% is almost 50%. We are lost. And therefore, we make the choices of losers in our lives. And we have a future of losers also. You have to wake up from this misconception that it's not important what you think. You have to wake up from the thought that, okay, no one knows what I think. I keep it between my ears, you know, and under my skull. It's not important. By the way, I've learned to read your mind. If you want, I could do it by just looking at the eyes and then looking a little bit away and then immediately zooming in again. You can see what's going on behind the eyes and the eyelashes. There are ways to know this, and you can learn, but it's not a nice art, because you find out many people are just it's a kittery of thoughts, really, which is not important, and that ruins our life, my dear devotees, because of the choices and so on. So today, Krishna will find a verse for me, or anyone who has an email or a distraction. What is it called? Mobile telephone. Distraction monster, I call it. There is a verse in the Bhagavatam which tells us how important thinking is. 11:14:27. Go Krishna, you have your machine with you. 11:14:27. Because there the Lord is describing, I have it here, he is describing how the point which we've just made, how our thoughts form our future. Vishayan dhyayatas chitam vishayeshu visachyate mamanusmaratas chitam mayeva praviliyate. The mind of one meditating upon the objects of sense gratification is certainly entangled in such objects. But if one constantly remembers me, then the mind is absorbed in me. And to put it in an easier to understand language, your mind will think of the objects of sense, of wherever you think about it. This verse is not about sense gratification or no sense gratification. It's about really thinking of something. When you think of something, your mind will take on the shape of what you're thinking. It's entanglement. Your mind, in other words, is like lac or wax, you can say, which takes on the form in which it's poured. If it's a glass, like this, and the mind thinks about it, it will take this form and project it into your awareness. When it is the shape of a, let us say, an elephant, it pours itself into the shape and brings an elephant in your mind. If it is the form of anything, you know, a tower, a gate, a lady, a stone, it takes on these shapes. This means it becomes entangled with this. In the next verse, therefore, Krishna makes a conclusion. He says, mano mat bhava bhavitam. Yes, mano mat bhava bhavitam. This is 11:14:28. What your mind thinks of, that is what you become. You know, it brings these objects. When you think all the time of a career, for instance, and you really internalize it, you see what your career would be like. You grow into it. You become entangled in that form. Now, one who, on the other hand, absorbs one's mind in Krishna, he attains the Lord's nature. He goes to Krishna. That's the idea of smaranam, of remembering Krishna. You become entangled with Krishna, if you so want. You bring Krishna into your mind, and sadatat bhava bhavito is in the Gita. You attain that nature in which you will find Krishna. How to do this we will learn a little later. But first of all, you must know, my dear devotees, there is a core principle in devotional life. It is whatever you think of, that shapes your future. You know? There is a verse which I had for you in mind. It was here, but now I know it by heart. Say with me. Smatavya satatam Vishnu.
Smatavya satatam Vishnu.
Vismatavya naya tujhe.
Vismatavya naya tujhe.
Sarva vidhi nishedasya.
Sarva vidhi nishedasya.
What? Etayo eva kinkara.
Etayo eva kinkara.
Yeah, according to what you think. This always think of Vishnu, Krishna. Never ever forget Krishna. All rules and regulations are serving this one principle. Now, what this Mahaprabhu gave one example to Rupa and Sanatana Goswami. I will request one of you to find it. Perhaps you have a good, you're close to me. Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila 1, text 211. He gives an example that will make the men and the women blush here in the audience. Who of you is married? Good. Who of you intends to marry? Why do you laugh insecurely? I can tell you there were only 3 hands up. It will be about 50 more. But there is this, you need to hear the lecture of Hari Prasad. You know? Yeah. Hare Krishna. So for the next question, no one's hand should go up. Married people, have you ever thought of another lover than your husband or your wife? Don't say it. Have you ever dreamt, brahmacharis, hey brahmacharis, have you ever dreamt of a lady in your dream? Why do you laugh? We are very sincere here. My dear devotees, of course the mind thinks of anything and everything. And the strongest way of thinking, the type of thinking that is coupled and entangled with the deepest emotional feelings, are surrounding partnerships and what is done in the partnerships. No? So even stronger than partnership is when one is attached to someone out of that, because in order to do this, one has to go over many obstacles. So in our tradition, there is an example to tell us how strong our thinking should be of Krishna. The example is of that of a woman who is attached to a man other than her husband. What will she do? She will appear very busy in carrying out her various household activities that no one ever is suspicious. But within her heart, she will think with strong emotions and about associating with her paramour. Now, strangely, or not strangely, surprisingly, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur quotes this verse as an example of expertise in worshipping Krishna. This is the idea. We are here in the world, surrounded with our responsibilities, duties, and so on. Perhaps like an Indian housewife who has to take care of certain things. But while all this is going on, we should think of Krishna, who's outside this world and outside the duty, just like the housewife who has a relationship which is morally and ethically highly questionable, will always naturally think about her paramour. I will read them. Would you like to hear this surprising verse?
Yes.
Good, then I will. Paravyasani nari vyagrapi kriya karamasu tat evas vada yadyanta navasangarasayanam. The new association and the rasa, the ayanam in it. If a woman is attached to a man other than her husband, she will appear very busy in carrying out her household affairs, but within her heart, she is always relishing feelings of association with her paramour. It's interesting, no? This is not to be imitated on this level. It is the lesson is to be learned that we do our activities here, what we have to do by Loka Dharma, by the Dharma that describes the conduct of people in this world. But inside we should relish, we should harbor, we should develop, we should revisit, we should often be with our secret love, Krishna. So for memorizing Krishna, there are two ways. One is to do it out of taste. The example which we just heard was about taste. If we can't do that because our taste is not yet developed, then we have to do it by practice. Because remember, your thoughts will shape what? Your life and your future. Yes, correct. It is possible for everyone in all stages of life to think of Krishna. And Jiva Goswami gives us a few examples. He says, Smaranam is possible in all stages of life. This is now the practice. Garbe, in the womb, the living entity, they pray, no? Oh, Krishna. So many mothers I have, oh Lord, who are just near to me. Now I remember you, but I'm not sure what will happen when I move out of this dark womb. Please protect me. In childhood, one can remember Krishna. Balye, who is an example of this? Prahlad Maharaj, yes, and someone else said Dhruva Maharaj, yes. In Yovane, in youth, one can remember Krishna. Who's an example of this? This is a little difficult, I will say for you. Ambarish Maharaj, from his youth, he was doing this. In old age, one can remember Krishna. An example of this, a very old person who at the last end, Ajamil, yes. Dhritarashtra is an example also. But he didn't obtain love of Godhead because of Vaishnava Aparat. Against whom did Dhritarashtra make offense? Bhimasena, yes. He was thinking of killing him because Marana, in dying, one can remember Krishna. You said already, Ajamir, yes. And after death, one can also remember Krishna. Who is an example who remembered Krishna after death? I don't hear so well. Chitaketu, yes. Gajendra. Remember, he was a king who retired to the forest, and at the end of and after the life, when he was in a crisis, a wake-up crisis, you could say, he was attacked by whom? By this deadly crocodile, and he tore out a lotus flower, that's how I have heard it, from the lake in which this fight took place, this fight for the ultimate fight for life or death, and he was losing, so he took out this lotus flower and said beautiful prayers to Krishna. Prabhupada makes a beautiful point in his purpose. He said, well, Gajendra remembered a mantra he had chanted in his past life, and therefore we should all learn mantras which then in an afterlife come to our help. And he speaks about the Brahma Samhita. If I remember correctly, he says, what is it? I'm sorry, I have so much cold. The last line, Bahir, say with me, Bahir Nishingha. Bahir Nishingha. Hridaye Nishingha. Hridaye Nishingha. Now the whole line, Nishingha Madim Sharanam Prapade. And again, Bahir Nishingha. Hridaye Nishingha. Nishingamadim Sharanam Prapade. You should learn all these mantras and they will come. This is called practice, my dear devotees. Practice, practice, practice. Sometimes this is also happening without much practice. Ajamil did practice in his young age, and it came to him. I would like to now tell you how you should practice. There is a very interesting Lord Krishna addresses progressive levels of bhakti in the 12th chapter. And in the 8th verse of the 12th chapter, he starts with practicing bhakti with one's internal senses or the mind. No? He says, fix your mind on me exclusively. Now, this is a form, it is called Smarana Atmika Bhakti. Then he says, if this is not so easy, fix your intelligence on me. This happens when you contemplate Krishna by reading in the Shastras and trying to understand the Shastras. You fix your intelligence on him. Now, if you can't fix your mind on me, we had yesterday a devotee who said, I can't do this. If you can't fix your mind upon Krishna without a deviation, then you must endeavor to fix your mind on me. This is called Abhyasa Yoga, which Krishna has described in the 3rd chapter already. You do this by following regulative principles of bhakti. This is not the 4 principles that you do, that you of course do, but the principles like associating with direct bhakti, means sadhu sangha, nam kirtan, bhagavat smaran, and so on, you know. No? But you need, if you practice, withdraw the mind repeatedly from outside objects and fix it on Krishna. Does this remind you to withdraw the mind repeatedly on our practice we do in japa? Mana samharana, no? To withdraw the mind or repeatedly bring the mind away. Now I would like, I took this very nice thing, Gauranga Darshan, you will be proud of me. It is from Bhagavad Gita Subodhini. Highly recommendable. I have taken. Then I did my own little research. I took this, I went in the commentary of Vishwanath Chakrabarti Thakur to find out if he talks more about Abhyasa Yoga or practicing Smaranam. And he gives a process which is very, very much known to me. You must know, when I was young, I had a very, very innocent life. I grew up with my family in a villa on an island. It was idyllic. It was idyllic. It was idyllic. I can only say like this. I'm very grateful. And I would play all day. I would be outside. I would go to the ocean and play with the waves and many, many plays. But one play of mine, which I would like to first introduce to you before I tell you the verse, is when it was raining, there were little streams. There was one hill on the island and they came down. The stream came streaming down, and I thought, what if I built my own stream? So I dug in a new riverbed or stream bed. I brought it to the, and I brought it on a parallel to the stream which had water. And then I stopped that stream which had water, which was coming down, and I diverted the flow of water in my new stream. And I would have little wheels, which made power, nothing significant, but and I would be the architect for for a whole day when it was raining. So this process of stopping the stream of your mind and giving it a new direction is recommended by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. The verse is Atachitam samadatum nashakshnosi mayistiram. These are Krishna's words. Abhyasa yogena. Abhyasa means what? Practice. Abhyasa yogena tato mam ichatum dhananjaya. He says, Krishna says, if you are not able to concentrate your mind, like the inquirer from yesterday, if you're not able to concentrate your mind on me steadily, then seek to attain me by the method of, by the repeated method of fixing your mind on me, O conqueror of wealth. It's still a little cryptic. What does this mean? Vishwanath says, in common words or simple words, this means stop the movement of mind, which, like a river which cannot be controlled, gravitates to vulgar sense objects such as taste, and establish the mind's movement in a new way that is my beautiful form, my qualities, my pastimes, and rasa. O Dhananjaya, conqueror of wealth, you have conquered many enemies. You have taken much wealth. Now conquer your mind, and then you can take the treasure of meditation. So this is the process. You see the stream of your mind, or let us call it in a modern language, the traffic of your mind, the thoughts. They go in one direction, in one of the arterias, and arterias means the thoughts in which you always think, no? The predictable thoughts. You stop that for a moment by directing your mind on Krishna. In psychological terms, this is called vitaka bhadana pratipaksha bhavanam. It means when you are harassed by negative thoughts, you should cultivate counteracting thoughts. I would like to give you a psychological example. Do devotees sometimes get on your nerves? Yes, no. We are good boys and girls. No. Of course. Now perhaps you sleep with someone in the same room, you know, and your different beds, and they start snoring, even if they're Matajis. I have, you know, and you can't sleep. You go, why is he so uncultured? It snores, you know. Or devotees sometimes, because they're not yet mature, they act hurtfully. They get on our nerves. No? So opposite thinking means that instead of continuing with negative thoughts about them, you cultivate positive thoughts. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur once did this with two leading sannyasis in the movement who were so much competitive and who were not liking each other. This happens even amongst sannyasis, and you don't want to say it happens to you. Negative thoughts. So he took sannyasi A, and on the opposite side, in front of him, he requested sannyasi B to sit down, and he said, can you say anything positive about the other person? So sannyasi A, who had made politics about sannyasi B, was now asked to say something positive. He thought very deeply, yeah, at least he is a vegetarian. You can see the amount of negative thoughts that this is. Okay, Sannyasi B, say something positive about Sannyasi A. It's not so easy, Guru Maharaj. Well, he sleeps in a temple. That's his address. Okay. A, now again say something positive about B. Then B, something positive about A. At the end of doing this, for a good amount of time, this is called opposite thinking. Think the opposite of what you're thinking. They were saying, oh, I appreciate he's actually quite learned in the scriptures. And Sannyasi B said, yeah, I mean, he likes kirtan like anything, and he is there when there's kirtan, you see him sitting there. So it was, this will happen to you also. If you stop your negative thought and cultivate, it doesn't come natural. Cultivation is something which you do, where you put in energy and you cultivate positive thoughts. This, my dear devotees, can save, I don't know, 50% of the marriages, I think. This is my number. I'm not a researcher. It can create this pratipaksha bhavanam, opposite thinking or cultivating counter thoughts, is done in 2 steps. You must weed or stop the old thoughts that are rajasic and tamasic, and you must plant new thoughts. It's similar to what you do in a garden. You take out the old weeds which take all the oxygen out of the earth, and you plant nice rose flowers and other flowers. And if you do this for some time, the new plants will grow and they will reseed, they will have seeds, and soon you have in your flower bed a rose garden. Vyasadeva said, when I noticed that I was burning in samsara, I took shelter in bhakti yoga and committed myself also to the welfare of other people. Now I see that after I have renounced bad thoughts about people, I again go back to them. Am I not like a dog who licks his own, fasten your seatbelt, am I not like a dog who licks his own vomit? Oh. This is what you do in relationship with ordinary people. What you do, but we want to enter a relationship with Krishna. I call it the one relationship or ultimate relationship. And you do this, my dear devotees, by practicing, creating, stopping your old material thoughts and creating new thoughts. Now the way you do this, there are 2 ways in which you do it and 2 practices. First, the 2 ways. There is a form which I think has made its way half into the consciousness of many devotees. This is to take a verse and to relish the verse. The other half, which is not often done by the same devotees, is to now, as Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur has indicated, establish the mind's movement in my beautiful form. Should I be very clear? Here is one verse, I have it now, which is my favorite verse on one of my favorite verses on Krishna. I first learned it in Rudraprayag. I was just coming out from my bath in the Ganga, and then a Brahmana sat down and started to chant this, and this was the tune. We will try to reproduce it for you. You can chant it with me. Bahapidam, a little higher please. Bahapidam natavaravapu kanayo kanikaram bibradvasa kanakakapisham vejajantim shamalam rantran venu adara sudaya purayando pavrinde Vrindaranyam svapadaramanam pravishat gita kirti. Please continue with the melody. So this verse introduces 8 ways in which we can practice remembering Krishna. I request you to sit straight now. In Nectar of Devotion, Prabhupada says this is the meditation of the gopis. They think like this. Krishna enters the Vrindavan forest. He comes with his friends. You can do an open eye meditation if you want. Those who like to close their eyes. But in our case, let's just breathe out a little to relax. And breathe in. Breathe out. We are now in the forest of Vrindavan. You can definitely hear the parrots. Now continue, Parrotji. When Krishna enters the Vrindavan forest, how does he look? He has a beautiful peacock feather on his head. He exhibits a very attractive dance pose. Perhaps he lifts the right leg a little bit and the dhoti moves up a little bit to give way to his beautifully colored shanks. Perhaps he makes a gesture of a dancer. He is a wonderful trumpet-shaped kanikara flower which rests on his ear. It's blue. And sometimes he takes the flower from one of his ears, let us say the right ear. He moves back his hair a little bit and he puts it over his left ear because he is playful. Krishna wears very beautiful garments, brilliant as gold. He has a long Vaijajanti garland reaching down all the way, even lower than his knees. Oh, so beautiful. Then he takes his flute to his lips and fills it with his breath and the nectar of his lips. He beautifies the ground with the marks of his feet. And then he's not alone. He's accompanied by cowherd boys who sing his glories. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, oh, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama. Sing again. And remember Krishna. He has a peacock feather on his head. Do it, practice. Oh my God, he dances. It's very attractive, his pose. Practice. Krishna dancing. One more time. A flower is resting on his ears. Practice. He has a long garland up to his knees. Please, practice. A very, very yellowish garment, brilliant as gold. My God, it flashes like electricity. Sing. And now it gets totally exciting. He fills the holes of his flute with the nectar of his song and lips. Wow, this is good. And when he dances, hey, why are you not singing? You need to practice. The ground becomes filled with the marks of his feet. And he is now together with so many cowherd boys who sing just like you. Sing. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Please, for a moment, stop singing. My dear devotees, Kirtan will continue. Now on your own, without being led or prompted, remember whatever you can remember as you sing from this one verse, and you practice Mantramayi Upasana. So please, now, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Me alone. only me is singing now. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Everyone, please. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. For whom was this possible? Did you see something in your memory? Who saw something in the memory? Wow, can't believe. Some of you might have not been able to crack your neural codex. I'm sorry to say, but for most followers of the spiritual movement, they do things mechanic, Vaidhi Bhakti, and they miss the point of Krishna. So we form, if you think only mechanic, never think of Krishna. No, when we chant Krishna, no, Krishna. You will create habits that form a neural network, something biological. Because neurons that fire together, that's when you think, wire together, they create a network. You need to break that codex, my dear devotees, if you want to move from the small mind to the big mind, from the material consciousness to the Krishna consciousness. And this is done by practice. The Hari Bhakti Vilas is a work that tells Vaishnava behavior. And there in the third Vilas, 20th verse and 22nd verse, there is a smaranam, or remembering Krishna as a morning practice. I became attentive to this verse in a lecture which Hari Parshad gave in Goloka Dham. Here is it for you in Sanskrit. Brahme muhurta uttaya Krishna Krishneti kirtayan achechan paramang shuddhim muhnityatva guru pado stutvacha kirtayan Krishnam smarang chaitat udirayet. When you wake up during the Brahma Muhurta time, early, perform the kirtan of Krishna Nam. Wake up and you go Krishna Krishna, or you sing Krishna's name. One of my godbrothers said, Sacinandana Maharaj, every morning I wake up as an atheist. He was referring to his dream life, an active dream life. And, there was not much spiritual or Krishna conscious things. So I said, you know what I do? I wake up and I go to bathroom. And latest when the water touches me and wakes me up, I start to sing Krishna Nam. And then I found this later in this lecture in the Hari Bhakti Vilas. Wake up with Krishna Nama. Krishna Krishna. Sing. If you're not a good singer, be a bad singer. No problem. Krishna is nice. Then the next thing is, if you desire your purification, you should meditate on the 2 feet of the Guru placed on one's head. Now in Prabhupada's sadhana, which he gave to all of us, how do we start the morning? the Mangal Arti. What do we do during that time? We sing what? Guru Vashtakam. Why do we sing this? To become mindful, perhaps to become mindful of the Guru? No, is it not? Am I too esoteric? Isn't that the normal thing? You sing something and you think about what you sing. No, not in the Hare Krishna, Hare Ramas, not for them. They sing without, we just sing. Break out of that killing mechanic process. It will not serve you to become Krishna conscious, to think of Krishna. Then after doing this, then one should glorify Krishna by performing smaranam of Krishna and utter the following verse. And then a verse is given, Jayati Janani Vaso Devaki Janmavado Yaduvara Parishad Sver Dorbiasya Dharmam, and so on. It is a verse. I must say, this is called, this practice, mantra Maya Upasana. You think about one mantra, one verse. You learn verses, no? It's good. You get Bhakta points when you know verses, no? So you learn verses and you chant them and you stop thinking, of course, about the verse. Don't think about the verse. Don't. I'm ironic. Of course you think about the meanings of the verse. Can you imagine why Prabhupada gave the word by word meaning? Did he think about what he was doing? Was there some intention, perhaps, that we should know the meaning of the verse? Of course. And this is how we meditate about verses. Jiva Goswami gives 2 verses for mantra Maya Upasana. Venum kvanantam aravinda dayataksham bhavitam samasitam buddha sundarangam kandapakoti kamaniya vishesha sobham govindam adi purusham tamaham bhajami Govindam Adi Purusham Tamam Bhajami Govindam Adi Purusham Tamam Bhajami. Everyone who knows this, please. Govindam Adi Purusham Tamam Bhajami. My dear devotees, from where do you know these verses? It seems you can sing along with me. Do you recognize them? Brahma Samhita. When do we sing them? Normally when we visit the temple. Every morning. Could that be Prabhupada's way to teach us the next level in our life? To remember Krishna? I assume that when he gave the word by word translation, he wanted us to know what we are singing, no? My dear devotees, this is the process. I have a god brother who said his mission was to show how everything is in Prabhupada's teachings, and when he said it, it made so much sense. He said, in this way, devotees will not have to go outside of ISKCON to find the fulfillment of their devotional life. No? So this is the morning practice. smaranam, which you might like to do every morning. What do we do when we get up? We chant. What do we chant? Krishna's name. You can, for instance, sing Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna. One more time, please. Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna. Yes. Then you can meditate about your spiritual master, asking him for blessings for the day. No? We do this daily because in old times people would come to the guru in the ashram and in the morning and bring a flower perhaps and ask for blessings to do the day. And then you can do this mantramaya upasana, that is remembering Krishna through these verses. For those of you who like to take notes, the verse which is taught in the Hari Bhakti Vilas is 10-90-48. I repeat, 10-90-48. The one which is given in, which is also given in the scripture, the one which we practiced is, how do you say? It is thinking of Krishna entering the forest. It's 10:21, verse number 5. I repeat for you, 10:21, verse number 5. No? 10. Then you can remember it. Double 2 times 10 is 20. Then you add a 1. Then you have 21. And 5 is half of 10. This is how I remember numbers, you know. I need to have images, otherwise it doesn't work. Mantramaya upasana. What comes later is svarasiki upasana. That is when you think about the flow of Krishna's pastimes. It is something that Bhaktivinoda Thakur teaches, but it is a high practice. That's not how you enter Smaranam. You enter Smaranam with a contained memory as it is found in a verse. Yes? Can you see how beautiful our tradition is? How easy and structured the philosophy works. The whole idea is stop being lost in your mind, no? But know that your thoughts, which you think now, will shape your future. This simple practice, which you have heard in the morning, that will help you, my dear devotees, to absolutely 100% develop a mind that remembers Krishna more than the dreams. The dreams will be there. Dreams usually, do you also forget your dreams? Unless they are very impactful. So that is how you shape your mind. You wake up and chant Hare Krishna. Can you do this? Of course. And then you meditate on the lotus feet of your spiritual master. If you have lost your faith in your guru because he couldn't give you enough time or anything, think of Prabhupada's 2 lotus, think of him. Then glorify Krishna by remembering, think of Krishna. There is 1 month in Kerala, it's called Vishu. It's the beginning of the new year. Who of you is from Kerala? We don't have. 1. Hare Krishna. 2. Yes. 2 perhaps, yes. One time in a year, I was there at that time because I was there for treatment, Ayurvedic treatment, is Vishu. They tell you at the morning the first thing you see must be Krishna. And then you go into the house. They have arranged a nice deity of Krishna mostly, even if they are Christians and so on. And they bring nice fruits, jackfruit, papayas there. And then you are supposed to go there after you have taken your bath and look. And I did it. And I thought, in Krishna consciousness, we do this every day. First thing which we do when we wake up. Why should that be only once a day? And even Christians do it. Can't you also do it? You know, to think of Krishna very positively, and in this way benefit your life. Practice, practice, practice. Remember yesterday when I said any questions, then I saw the hand was going up, and I knew what the question would be. I can't think of Krishna. Yes. Because you have not practiced to think of Krishna. You need to practice. Why is this important? Because your thoughts will shape your future. You will only be able to think of Krishna at the moment of death, when you have practiced it, or when you have people to help. But I remember our Bhakti Charu Maharaj, he said, you may die without devotees who help you to remember Krishna. You may die like this. He said it 3 months before his departure. I think he knew. He was alone in the intensive care station in some place, and I think it starts Orlando, I think, all alone. I saw a photo which was taken by a nurse, a secret photo. He was there, and I will not describe how he looked. He was dying. It was not an easy process that you could see. He had the Bhagavad Gita on his night table, and I know him very well as a friend. He thought of Krishna very often. He sang about Krishna very often. He had practiced this very often. Therefore, his departure was glorious. No, there was. I know many details from the person who came into the room to take out his body for the final rites. No, he told me a few things which for the disciples, I can tell them. Glorious. Practice, my dear devotees. Practice. If you forget everything from this lecture, which most of you will, remember one word. Practice remembering. These are 2 words. Practice remembering. Krishna. Can you see the parrot there? Do you know where he lives? Inside this hole. Can you see the hole in the tree? His parents and his sons and his parents were always here in the Katars. These are our parents, you know. He is, hey Shuka, nice to see you. Qatar completed, finished. You know, they are with us since 20 years. I mean, generations. They don't live. I don't think they live 20 years. No. He's one of ours. I think he doesn't need to practice memory. He's born here in the Holy Dham. This is his last birth. He will go back to Godhead. But we need to practice. He can also have parrot-like repetition. He's a parrot, it's fully okay. But not you. You are a human being. You have to know what you are repeating. Hare Krishna. So I have reached my end. My dear devotees, I have to excuse myself. Have you noted that I was talking with some urge? Have you noted that there was some sadness in my voice, some bitterness, some disappointment with many devotees' life? Because they are so insistent that they don't need to think about Krishna in our movement. We were the most irreligious movement I can imagine. This was a shocking statement. I don't think like this. We are a very good movement. We are practicing. We are going every morning to see the deities. We are serving. There's a lot of service, stress on service, and we heard this morning just to remember it's not enough. You need to serve. Prahlad's teachings, and but I would just want to say this is very necessary, this point. Hare Krishna. Thank you. But I know you try to encourage me. Thank you. So, now, my dear devotees, questions are required. What are your questions? Did you like this from Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur about creating a new, not riverbed, but thought bed in your life so that you automatically go to Krishna? Is there a question? Where is the question? Yeah. Vrindavan Vinod Prabhu. Hare Krishna. We have a microphone for you. As we getting ready, wait a minute. For who else has a question? Could you please be so kind to go already to the microphone because it will be difficult to pass it. Yes, Vrindavan Vinod.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Yes, I can hear you. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, Maharaj, first to encourage us for this, bringing this practice in our sadhana. Thank you for that. And question was, Maharaj, in this stated in Bhakti Sandarbha, in this Anuched 262, Jiva Goswami has mentioned one word called Chitta Sambandha. And this, he stated this as a sadhana is that state in which the chitta becomes connected with the Lord arising naturally from the Shravan and Kirtan. Yeah. So when we are talking about this practice, so if we are making, while doing Shravan or doing Kirtan, if we make an image or we just try to think of something, is it natural or is it just foreseen?
Yes. Thank you very much. This is a very important comment. So I will repeat it in Jiva Goswami in the Bhakti Sandarbhas Anucheta 62.
262.
What?
262.
262 says that our consciousness or chitta becomes sambandha or connected naturally as a result of practicing Shravanam and Kirtanam. So this practice from the Hari Bhakti Vilas, glorifying Krishna, one should perform Smaranam of Krishna and utter the following verse, this practice of mantra, Maya Upasana. It is a practice of Vaidhi Bhakti. It is and Vaidhi Bhakti is devotional service in practice. No, it is not natural to the conditioned soul to do this. He makes an effort, and this is called an abhyasa. By this effort, one can control the mind. But listen to this. by hearing about Krishna, this happens also natural. And in a way, this natural development is the preferred way. It is the most spontaneous way, if you so wish. After hearing a lot of Krishna, naturally, without making the effort which you do in Vaidhi Bhakti, it arises. Now, if I wait for this spontaneous appearance of remembering as a result of hearing a lot of classes and so on, I might sometimes wait for a long time. Therefore, it is recommended that we also do this as a morning practice. That's Vaidhi Bhakti. Vrindavan Vinod, since I know and appreciate you much, we have a wonderful history and gone a long way and going also. I will tell you what I do personally. I read literature sometimes when I chant. Before I chant, sometimes I pause and while I chant, and then I chant, and then all of a sudden, naturally, without having forced myself, that what I have read comes and arises in the mind. This is very, that is what Jiva Goswami talks about. But I'm also doing the other thing. I'm reading verses and then remember the verses bit by bit, and that is Vaidhi Bhakti practice. So both are there. When we have no taste, not a spontaneous taste, what we do is we mix the Vaidhi Bhakti practices with those more spontaneous practices, and then the taste will eventually come. But I would love to take a note of this, or go Krishna, you can type down Bhakti Sandarbha Anu 262. 262. Thank you. There's another devotee. Prabhu, please, I did know your name, but due to old age, it has slipped. Tell your good name, please.
My name, Maharaj, is Karuna Chandra Das.
Karuna Chandra. Where did we meet Karuna Chandra?
It's called Punjabi Bagh.
Acha. Yes. Yes, Karuna Chandra.
So grateful to you, Maharaj, for your wonderful association in the holy Dham of Giriraj Govardhan. So Maharaj, as you were explaining that if you don't have taste, you need to practice remembering Krishna. And you mentioned that when we get up, by reciting wonderful prayers, wonderful mantras, we are reminded of Krishna. So I wanted to ask Maharaj that that is a wonderful practice we can imbibe. Specifically, Maharaj, while chanting, right after getting up, we get ourselves ready, go to the Mangal Arati, attend the Mangal Arati, we see the beautiful form of the deities, we chant the holy name. So, how we can include remembering Krishna during the chanting that we do in association, Sankirtan, or during our personal japa, how we can remember Krishna at that time? Because the morning time is the best time we can remember Krishna. During services, it may be a little more difficult, but the morning time is exclusive for us in Krishna. So specifically during the Sankirtan that we do in the morning program, the japa that we do in the morning program. So please guide us how we can remember Krishna during that time. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Karuna Chandra.
Yes, sir.
Who is there another question? Yes. Tapanam, Tapomaya, and then our Mataji. So you can stay where you are. Karuna Chandra's question now. I just wanted to make sure that we don't lose time. To remember the Lord doing japa, there is one method which I knew from what Prabhupada taught us. He said we should chant before the deities and look at the deities. That's a very easy way, because here we can see with our organic senses the Lord's beautiful form, which we cannot see which is very Sachit Ananda Vigraha. This is one way. And you come from Punjab Vibhag. I would ask you to do a little, to upset the Brahmacharya ashram a little, by saying after the darshan, Prabhu, what was the dress today of Radha Ramanji? Radha Raman. Radha Radhika Raman. And 50% will say, no idea. Then you can say, tomorrow I will ask you the same question. And then they will practice remembrance, oh, it looked like this. As I said, we are conditioned souls. We really have to rewire ourselves. It's work, my dear devotees. To come from mindless bhakti to mindful bhakti is work. It is reprogramming ourselves, but it is necessary. During japa, there is one ancient method. It is done in our tradition. The summary of Bhakti Brihad Bhagavatamrita has a few verses only about Krishna. One verse of it is the Baha Pitam Natavaravapu Kanayo Kanikaram. They are called Bhakti Rasayana verses. Have you heard about these verses? If you want to think of Krishna, if you want to learn it, I highly recommend you take these verses and then go to the Tika, the purport of Sanatana Goswami, as you will find in the Brihad Bhagavatamrita, and then you make yourself more familiar with the verses. And as I said, you practice mantra maya upasana. You have verses and they come, if you want to do. If you prefer, if you say this I don't want to do, don't want to do this, then just focus your mind on the sound of Krishna's name. Just absorb your mind with the sound. Rupa Goswami says, just like when you make kajal, this black ointment, you take two substances, I forgot what it was, and you grind them. In the same way, you have to take your mind, one thing, and the holy name, then Hare Krishna, and then they become one after some time. You have a very open and free and happy chanting. You will chant with what Bhaktivinoda Thakur describes as ulasa. That may be for those of us who grew up in old times the easiest way, to just absorb our mind in the sound of Krishna's name. And from there, as we have heard from the Bhakti Sandarbhas, spontaneously, without, there will be the time. But my dear devotees, I can tell you, I'm here for 50 plus, I don't know, maybe 55 years I'm chanting Krishna's, I'm doing these things. Memory for Krishna, I have waited for this for many, many long years, and then I think, I don't know, 48 years I waited for the spontaneous memory of Krishna. And for me, it didn't come until I began to read verses I close my eyes and remember what was there in the verses. Maybe you are from India. You have pious birth. It may happen before 48 years. But why wait so long? This is my thing. Why not practice that one thing? Hearing a lot, going to many lectures, and then remembering verses and the content. Hare Krishna. Karuna Chandra, what a good name. Karuna Chandra. The moon has rays that emanate from it. Karuna Chandra, name of Krishna. It's rays of mercy that fall on everyone. Jai ho, jai ho, jai ho. So there was Tapomaya. Tapomaya, we have a microphone for you.
Thank you, Maharaj, for such a beautiful, amazing katha. I think you answered my first question when you gave the answer that you waited for 48 years.
Yeah.
And then in the next 7 years.
I wasted so much time. Yes.
So, second question I wanted to ask, is there a list of verses that we should meditate? And because there can be and many verses that can be there.
Yeah, I would say is there a list of verses. Take this one and the other which I gave you, that Jaya Jana Nivasam. Then if you want to go, this Bhakti Rasayana verses, oh, so nice. Tabomaya, so nice about Krishna. So many good informations that satisfy the heart. So much. Yes. This is a traditional process, and also in ISKCON publications that is mentioned. Yes, and then my dear devotees, let us talk now a little bit more. My dear devotees, practice the wild goose spirituality. What is this? Near to where I lived in Golok Dham, there is a landing place for wild gooses who migrate from Norway and other places in the winter to Africa. Tapomaya, are you with me? Do you know migrating birds? It's too cold in Norway, so they migrate to Africa where it's nice and warm. So on the way, they somehow know by Super Soul, by the Lord in the heart, who directs them to land in places where they can eat something nice. And we happen to be in Goloka Dham, one of those places. There's just the right food. They eat vegetarian. No? So just the right food is there. How do they know? By Super Soul. I remember I was once on a morning walk with Prabhupada, and he stopped before a tree where there was a little bird who was just at the edge of the nest. I think the bird was thinking, should I stay in the nest or should I jump and try to fly? So Prabhupada stopped with all of us, and we looked if the bird would fly or if it would stay in the nest. So the bird was not afraid. It was happy in the association of Prabhupada. And it began to jump from the nest, and then it flew, just very tumbling. It tumbled. It landed on the ground. And Prabhupada looked and said, the bird looked, very proud of itself. Then Prabhupada turned to us, his disciples, how does this bird know how to fly? It was not very good, but he was flying. And so one devotee said, instinct, Prabhupada, instinct. Prabhupada said this is just a bird. The scientists don't know. This is the Lord in the heart, Paramatma. So, Lord in the heart is also in you. He will direct you like this wild goose to the right landing places. And you might end up in verses by Rupa Goswami, for instance. Vivida kusama vrindot fulada miladati vigatita madagunat keki pitcha prashashti. Stavavali verses, I worship Sri Radhika, whose braided hair is decorated with many kinds of blossoming flowers. So after reading this, you close your eyes. Okay, a braided hair, many flowers. What flowers does it grow in Vrindavan? Champak, maybe champak, Yasmin. Don't imagine too much. Stay within the strictures of the scriptures, no? and so on. No? Trust a little bit in the Lord in the heart. Do we have, there is the small Gita, 4 verses of the Gita, Chatur Shloka Gita. What are the last 2 verses? Tesham satata yuktanam vajatam pritipurvakam dadami buddhi yogatam yenamam upayantite. The second, Tesham mevanukampatam aham ajnana yam tama. No? In the second, this is the 4th verse of these Chatur Shloki Gita. There it is, Prabhupada says, even if a devotee is not intelligent enough to take advantage of his spiritual master and the movement, he still, if he serves, the Lord in the heart will guide him. Does this mean that everyone is guided except Tapomaya? You're not so special. Lord can guide. Lord is there, very much there in the heart, and He will guide you if you sincerely want to do this one instruction, which is the essence of all other instructions. Smartavyam satatam Vishnu, not always remember Krishna. And then in Rupa Goswami takes this theme up in the 8th verse of his Upadeshamrita. No? One should progressively engage first the body and the mind in chanting very nicely, adhering nicely, thinking and engaging very nicely with Krishna's name and his form and his pastimes and so on. This is the Upadesha Saram, the essence of all instructions. And really my suggestion is start with verses. Or start with, we always hear a Krishna book, read a little and just close your, what did I just read? And something you will remember. And after some time, more and more you will remember until you have a beautiful mind, not a daily mind any longer, with daily impressions. Good, so let me look. Do you hear the background? This is the blind man singing. Yes, the blind man, and he sings. Sound is nice when you stand directly before. Now it's a little, he doesn't have Rajesh with him. But that's the blind man orchestra. Sometimes they are joined by others. They sing. Very nice. So our Mataji is here.
Hi Krishna Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. So today morning we were meditating on the relationship with Krishna, and from a long time I was waiting to ask you this in person. When I was reading the Living Name book, the 2nd chapter Sambandha, there you will be mentioning Prabhupada telling about Prakriti Sahajya. So actually normally I um,
What
relate Krishna. Sorry.
What is a Prakrita Sahajiyana?
It's how it was mentioned is imitating the gopis or the Ras Leela that. So actually I have two doubt. One is what is the difference between imitating like gopis or Yashoda Maya or everybody in the Vraj Leela, and also the difference between imitating them and following the footsteps of them. And another one is like normally we relate to Krishna. We tend to develop Krishna, I mean, relationship with Krishna by considering him as a friend, or father, or lover, or husband, like this. So even I love writing letters to Krishna, and I can't different during different times. It changes. So I was just so worried after reading that. Oh my God, what am I doing? Is it like a mistake or what? But still, I continued writing letters. So yeah, that's what my question. And also the end, it was mentioned by continuously chanting the Shuddha Nam, the holy name will itself reveal the eternal position of us. So can you please, how can I understand this?
How see the thing which we are warned again and again and again is first imagination. It's called, the word is kalpana. Kalpana means imagination. By the way, does someone of you have a tissue paper, please? Is kalpana, because if you go that road, you you will get stuck in material concepts, in material ideas. So. And we are also warned against there are two words, anukaran, that is imitating, and anusharan, that is following the principles, the footsteps. That means following principles. So there was a lot in our movement where young devotees selectively took passages from Prabhupada's books and wanted only to talk about this. And Prabhupada became very worried and voiced his concern in very strong words, because he has seen how in the movement of his own spiritual master, these kalpanas, imaginations, and out of this results imitative behavior, had ruined a lot and distracted the devotees from being active in the mission of helping others. And since that time, there is, because Prabhupada was very worried. Here he had started a movement, and now it was all, now he was afraid that this influence would spread more and more, an influence which he attributed to the imitative behavior of Sahajiya people, the people who take Prakrita means the material world, and they think, oh, when Jaga and Madai threw something on Nityananda, Nityananda has a material body also because he bled. So I'm a Nityananda, I'm the same, I can act like Nityananda. No need to dress. And Nityananda is Avaduta, and do many other things, which, and it had ruined really the good name of Vaishnavism also, because people acted immorally and so on. Yes, so this concern, which is a good, who am I to say good, which is coming from Prabhupada, has 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 been again and again mentioned in our movement, so that devotees don't overstep their adhikar, their abilities, their capabilities, because the moment you act outside of your abilities, you will be left to imitation. It doesn't come natural according to your abilities. Yes. So, it is a genuine concern, and we should not do away with it. We should not overlook it. We should check ourselves where we are and what is right. There's Jiva Goswami who says a cautionary memory mention. He says, when we hear about Radha and Krishna and their physical transformations in the body, that means one is lustfully agitated. One should immediately stop, because it's very dangerous for the person. There is a concern, not only in Prabhupada, in the tradition about this. But being afraid of danger doesn't mean that now we should do it. Like in Himalaya, there is a lot of cautionary mode. Enjoy your drive through the valley. This is This is a rally, not a race. Enjoy your drive through the valley, or something. I forgot. Or they say, be aware of danger. Curves ahead. Does this mean now we should not drive any longer? We should not drive. We drive and we are aware of the danger and move forward. When the scriptures are so clear that this is the essence of devotional practice, should we ignore the essence? I can't understand this logic. But we should start according to our ability, and therefore it is not good to start with the practices that are falling under the category of Ashtakaliya Lila Smaran. That is the 24 hours a day meditating about the pastimes of Krishna. First of all, I don't see many who can do that on this planet, and but some do. But that's not our area. Yesterday, for information's sake, I wanted to show you what is there in the Bhakti Bhajan Rahasya book. There is this Lila Smaranam, no? But what we are teaching is really the first level of Smaranam. It is to bring willfully the Krishna, something about Krishna in our mind. This is a Vaidhi Bhakti practice. No? There are other practices in Smaranam, Dhruvanu Smriti, where you think like an uninterrupted flow of honey or oil which comes down. You think uninterrupted about Krishna, but that you can't imitate, that develops spontaneously. But to willfully bring the memory of Krishna in the mind, that is a must. And I feel strongly it was introduced by Prabhupada in the, when you look in meditating about Krishna in the Veda book, what is it, Veda folio, or what is it? You will be surprised as the avalanche is coming down through your computer. I fainted because I'm not a computer man. I faint very quickly with computers, but it is there. But according to the Prabhupada. About writing letters, why not? Why not? Just be careful about sentimentality, of romanticism, of therefore you must read the books very carefully, and then you know what to write or not. I remember a situation in Hyderabad. I was there, and any questions, Prabhupada said. So one man said, my grandmother personally met Krishna. I saw how a fork came around my grandmother, and then I heard a suckling, like a baby who is breastfeeding. And Prabhupada was freezing. I thought, oh no, why does Prabhupada have to tolerate this? Oh, I know it will go to his heart. I know he will be very disturbed by hearing this. Oh no. Are you finished? He was going on and on and on. The 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan, Prabhupada became very serious. They chanted, Hey Radhe, Raja Deviki, where are you, Radha Rani? Where are you, Nanda Suno Krishna? Are you at the Govardhan hill? And you know, when he said, where are you? It sounded like the pure devotee, Vira Bhakti. Yes, yes. This is our line, no? Where are you, Krishna? Where are you? I want to recommend a verse for you, and I again have to ask, because I cannot remember numbers unless I make a huge mental gymnastic. Krishna Toma Hana Bhogavansha. Yeah, no, that's also a nice verse, yes. It's in the Madhya Lila, I remember, let me see, 22, chapter 22, I believe. Tomar. Who knows? Probably we have scholars here. My dear Lord, for so many long years, I totally forgot you. Here it is. Write down, Mataji. Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila. Chapter 22, verse 116. No, that's not the one I look for. By the way, it all goes topsy-turvy. I should never touch these things. Yeah, here's another one. Here is, this works. Now, please stay here in case I do something foolish. Repeat after me. So it's not what I gave you, it's 22:33, but the other is also a nice verse. Everything is nice. So repeat, sing with me. Krishna Tomar Hana, Yadi Bale Ekaba, Maya Banda Hoite Krishna, Tare Kare Para. Should we try the whole thing? Krishna Tomar Hana Jadi Bale Ekabara, Bale Ekabara, Maya Banda Hoite Krishna, Tare Kare Para, Maya Banda Hoite Krishna, Tare Kare Para. One is immediately freed from the clutches of Maya if he seriously and sincerely says, my dear Lord Krishna, although I have forgotten you for so many long years in the material world, today I'm surrendering unto you. I'm your sincere and serious servant, please engage me in your service. My dear devotees, if you chant like this, the sentence is, please engage me in your service. No? Do you recognize this sentence, by the way? You do. Good. So what comes before is, my dear Lord Krishna, although I've forgotten you for so many long years in the material world, today I'm surrendering unto you. I'm your sincere and serious servant. Please engage me in your service. And my dear devotees, if you chant with that type of artha bandhana, where your mind is connected with the meaning, no? Then so many things will arise. So many things. You will think, oh, Krishna, I'm separated from you. Oh, Krishna, I can't even remember you and how you look. What have I heard from my Guru Maharaj about Krishna, about you? Oh, you have a peacock feather. Oh, wonderful. This is a very wonderful hair dress. My God, peacock feather on the hair. I've never seen anyone like this. It's you only do this. And you will see all of a sudden, so many natural thoughts will come. So, Hare Krishna. I would like to end this session now. I know there might be other questions, but let us just sing for 7 minutes and then we move. I request you to turn towards Giriraj now and look at Giriraj. Let us take a little the atmosphere in. Do you see the parrots there? Yes. Do you see the sign Sri Radha on the... Here also. This is there because Radharani is the queen of Vrindavan. There is a stotra by Raghunath Goswami who says, on the top of Giriraj, there is a very beautiful boy dressed in yellow garments. His name is Gopal Raj. Say, Gopal Raj, yes. He is a cowherd boy. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. We need to go a little deeper, a bit lower with the sound. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Wonderful, wonderful. You sing very nicely. So, as we will learn tomorrow in the 6 ideas that bring perfection to chanting, What is mantrata chintanam? To reflect about the meaning of the mantra, and we can stay with this meaning. Please engage me in your service, or as Prabhupada has at other times said, please accept me. So please chant like this. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. Please, everyone, sing again, please. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Wonderful, wonderful. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Haribo! Hare Krishna, Hare one more time, everyone, please. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Giri Govardhan, Giri Govardhan, Giri Govardhan, Jaya Giri Govardhan. Jaya Giri Govardhan, Giri Govardhan, Giri Govardhan, Jaya Giri Govardhan. Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Srila Prabhupada. Gaur Premanandi, Hari 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 Bo, Hare Krishna.